Welcome to Terno BigQuery integration video. We're building a secure bridge between your Terno application and Google Cloud BigQuery. Our journey has 4 key phases. Let's start with the foundation. To start, we need to create the home for our BigQuery resources. In your browser, search for Google BigQuery console or enter the direct link. You will be prompted to sign in with your Google account. Enter your Gmail and password to log into your Google account. This brings us to the Google Cloud console dashboard. Once the console loads, locate the project selector in the header. If you are continuing an existing project, select it. Otherwise, click Create Project. Enter a descriptive name for your project, like My Project or Terno Connector. The choice is yours. Then, click Create. The project is now created and should be visible in the console. Next, we must navigate to the API library. Go to the navigation menu at the top left and select APIs and Services. Click on Enable API and Services. Checking the API status is important because explicitly verifying it prevents potential connection errors and ensures your project meets all necessary dependencies for secure communication. On the APIs and Services dashboard, click BigQuery API. When the BigQuery API page opens, check its status. You would typically click the Enable button to activate the service. However, in this video, you can see the API is already enabled. Since BigQuery is one of the core services, it's usually enabled by default in new projects. If yours is already enabled, you are ready to proceed. Now that our project is set and the BigQuery API is enabled, we move to Phase 2, confirming our data access. We'll start by exploring the massive BigQuery public datasets. From the navigation menu, click BigQuery to open the studio. Once the studio loads, click the +Add Data button in the left panel. From this, choose Public Datasets. Selecting Public Datasets redirects you to the Google Cloud Marketplace. You'll see a large number of BigQuery datasets available, ranging across diverse categories. This catalog includes everything from financial data, like the Chicago taxicab trips, to scientific data on weather, geospatial data, and even genomics. Users have many options they can choose according to their analytical needs. Here, for the demo, we have used the Look e-commerce dataset to demonstrate BigQuery Terno integration. The Looker e-commerce dataset, often referred to as Theluk_e-commerce, is a retail dataset. It contains realistic tables covering everything from customer profiles and products to orders and traffic sources, perfect for our demo because it gives us a real-world structure to demonstrate how BigQuery handles complex business data. Now, click the View Dataset button. The dataset is now pinned to your Explorer panel. Expand it, and you can see all its tables, customers, products, and orders. This realistic structure is perfect for demonstrating our integration. We now proceed to Phase 3, creating the secure identity for Terno. This is the service account and its key. The service account is a non-human user for applications. Go to the navigation menu on the top left, select IAM and Admin, and then click Service Accounts. Once the page loads, take a moment to review your existing accounts, if any. Then, click the blue Create Service Account button at the top. Click Create Service Account. Now, we need to name our service identity. Give it a clear, descriptive name. You might choose something like Terno Analysis or BigQuery Connector. Any name you like will work, as long as it tells you its purpose. You can also add a brief description in the next field, which is optional but recommended for good practice. Once satisfied, click Create and Continue. Now that the service account is named, we immediately move to permissions. This is the most crucial security step, granting the necessary IAM roles. We follow the principle of least privilege, meaning we only give the service account the permissions it absolutely needs. For our integration, we have added 2 key roles: BigQuery Data Viewer to read the datasets, and BigQuery Job User to enable data loading tasks. It's important to remember that you have to grant any other permissions required as per your specific needs. For instance, if Terno needs to write data, you would choose Data Editor. Once all roles are added, click Done or Continue. With the permissions set, we now generate the key file that Terno will use for authentication. You should be back on the Service Account List page. Locate your newly created service account. Under the Actions menu, the 3 vertical dots, click Manage Keys. In the Keys section, click Add Key, select Create New Key, and choose JSON format. Click Create. The JSON file containing the secret credentials will automatically download to your computer. Keep this key file secure, as it grants full access to your BigQuery data. This file acts as your secure connection, so it must be kept safe. We will need this downloaded file for the Terno connection process in Phase 4. On screen, you can see a sample of what the JSON key structure looks like. We now have the key Terno needs, along with the project ID and our dataset knowledge. Let's move to the final step in our journey, Phase 4. Terno provides two easy ways to connect your data source, one via the dedicated admin panel and the other through the chat interface itself. Let's look at the admin panel connection first. First, search for Terno AI and go to the official website. Log in using your registered credentials. Once logged in, click Manage. The admin panel loads. From here, click Add button to begin the connection setup. First, give your data source a meaningful display name, like e-commerce analysis. This is how you will reference it within Terno. Next, choose BigQuery as your data source type. You will then be prompted for the three key items, namely project ID, dataset ID, and the key we prepared in the previous phases. You need the project ID and dataset ID for the preparation of connection string. We manually build our required connection string, BigQuery, // project ID, / dataset ID. Let's get the final pieces of information. Navigate back to your target dataset, the Look e-commerce dataset, and click View Dataset. On the Dataset Details page, you can now find the project ID and the dataset ID. We will copy these two values and build the connection string in the format BigQuery, // project ID, / dataset ID. Next is the connection JSON. Open the JSON key file you downloaded in Phase 3, copy its entire contents, and paste it into the authentication field. Make sure your copied content is in the correct JSON format, including all necessary braces and quotation marks, as any error here will prevent the connection. The best practice here is to right-click the downloaded file and open it with a suitable application like Notepad or VS Code. Copy the entire contents of the file and paste it into the authentication field. By doing this, there is less chance of getting formatting errors. Check the settings to ensure the data source is enabled, and then click Save. You can now see the e-commerce analysis data source successfully added and ready for use in Terno. Go back to Terno dashboard, choose e-commerce dataset and start analysis. Now you can chat as normal. You can ask simple, natural language questions, like, show the products delivered in the last week. Terno instantly processes the query, returns the insights directly from BigQuery data. See the results right away. As an alternative, let's quickly demonstrate connecting via the chat interface itself. From the Terno dashboard, click Start Chat under the New Chat option. Within the chat interface, click Add Data Source and choose BigQuery. You will enter all the required fields exactly as before: display name, description which is optional, then the project ID, dataset ID, and the JSON key contents. The credentials remain the same, providing an alternative way to set up your pipeline. This confirms that your security credentials are portable and function identically across both of Terno's integration methods, offering you flexibility. Once the project ID and dataset ID are entered, and the JSON key is pasted, remember, the structure of the key must be exactly the same as the original file, with all braces intact. Click Add Connection. Now you can see that e-commerce analysis is successfully added to your data source list. Now that the connection is verified, we can immediately begin analysis. Select the newly added e-commerce analysis data source. Head back to the chat interface. You can now start asking questions in simple English, without writing any SQL. For example, you might ask, I am curious to know whether customers tend to shop more on weekends or weekdays. Terno instantly returns actionable insights. That covers both methods of connecting Terno to BigQuery. Thank you for watching.